set up instated on her rack, which
that
is a
she'll
word
know.
through the E, and she seemed to see that. I'm not sure if it plays, though.
Sure
it does seem to play through the E.
It will. So she has that as a fallback, at least.
She's taking her time, and some of this also is actually really good strategy. When your opponent is just blitzing through things the way Jem does, take your time. Slow it down.
Sure.
Find the best possible play. She finds instated.
Which
Browniest would have been a little bit better, but
you
if
need
you don't
to
know it,
really be sure of a word like that, which, I mean, I'm sure I speak for both myself and Jackson when I say I would really have to be very confident in Browniest to play it with instated available.
yeah, if you see something else that you know is good, maybe you want to take a more conservative approach and not open things up too much. Speaking of opening things up too much, Jem continues his fortuitous drawing. He gets the Q on a double letter, takes it down to the E on a double word, 40 points for just the Q and the word quite.
3 absolutely optimal, and by optimal I mean looking at all the options that Jem could possibly play, he's made the best play 3 straight times for sure.
Took about, 2 minutes off his clock?
No, not a minute and
No,
1
I'm sorry,
second.
a minute and 1 second off his
Just
clock.
over a minute to get there. That's really
it's
impressive.
crazy.
And it's very tough
really
from
great.
Chloe's perspective to stay calm when someone is time rushing you like that. She seems to be fine though. She seems to be unfazed by how quickly Jem is
she's no
playing.
stranger to this
For
board
so-
one.
for
How many times have we
teenagers-
seen her, Kevin?
Yeah, for teenagers, both these have played a lot of Scrabble.
Yeah.
And so the more you play, the more comfortable you're going to be, the more different things you're going to see, and not freak out and at times when things could happen. Now, that eye sitting in the middle of that lane all
Very
the way on the left is
tempting.
kind of scary, isn't it?
Yeah. Jackson, what do you think? What would you do here?
I mean, it seems like she's looking at the eye right now, and it's definitely the biggest spot on the board. The problem is finding a word that plays there. I'm not seeing much that is really good.
And if you were really swashbuckling cavalier type of player, you could opt instead to, if you knew that vug, the word that Chloe played on her first turn, if you were aware that that took an H, you could just dump HE right there, creating a great bingo lane for your leftover letters of DELIR, which are really phenomenal. You're going to hit a bingo a lot with those letters.
So why would you said HE?
Yes.
Why would HE be better than HIE or
That's a great question. I think the reason that I would say it's, instead she's blocked the more dangerous I. So we'll get back to Kevin's point, which is why, as Jem gesticulates.
Jem, look at this. Jem saying, I'm not going to waste any more time. I got a good letter. I'm going to go down here.
We'll get back to my point later as Jem plays so fast.
Wow.
Now you see here the word knowledge that Jem has. Doesn't waste any time and puts down obeli.
And now Chloe has a bingo that she may see, and it actually plays off of the spot that that Jem just opened up. That
now,
L in obeli.
Obeli is actually not in this dictionary.
It will be under obolus if you just look
under
for
obolus?
OBOL.
US. Oh, there it is.
So
yes.
as you can
it's
see,
the plural of obol.
It's a coin, yeah.
Yeah, it's a coin. So obol, O-B-O-L, is a coin.
As is the die obol.
And then obolus is the singular of it, and obeli would be the plural. So there it is.
She sees
Great
loiter,
play.
great find.
No surprise that she would find it.
The L is not an obvious bingo lane. It's not something you look at and think that, and a bingo must start with an L, but she still looked and found it very quickly. And she's playing quickly as well. I don't think she's really suffering from
she's under
the
5
time
minutes.
pressure.
She's under 5 minutes, but it looks like she's taking forever because Jem is a minute and a half into
Jem
this
is
game.
going to play doily within the next 10 seconds, I predict. Maybe 15.
Look at him. I'm slowing down.
I'll give it 20 seconds until doily hits the board.
This is some serious thought right now he's giving to this play.
Score is 157 for Jem. You see the spelling is correct, J-E-M.
Oh, there you go.
And there he goes with doily down to one triple.
As predicted.
Wow.
So look at this board compared to the boards that we've seen.
He's
The boards that
played
we've seen
perfectly.
are like jammed up with 2 and 3 letter words. The shortest word here has like been a 4 or 5 letter word.
And so Chloe has drawn the blank, which is very good for this really wide open board because it means she's very likely to have drawn a bingo. She has a few interesting words that she might be able to play. I don't think a C is on the board, is it? Because she would have trackpad. Although
the R.
There is
my
an R
God,
where
Jackson, great
trackpad
find.
will go down.
But that is an unbelievable. I mean, failing that, there are many good options that she has. Trackpad would be. I would easily miss trackpad in a game situation, so that's
worth a ton of points too, because the K hits a bonus score.
90, yeah. But failing that, there are many good plays here that score with the K, that keep your blank, or score with the P. She's got a lot of options here.
It's so fascinating just to look at this board compared to the boards that we've seen, where at this stage of the game, everything is just kind of jammed, and there's one or two bingo lanes. Look at this. The lower 3 rows all could be turned into bingos. There are 5 vertical lanes going on the side of the board, and even the O and the B up toward the top of the board. So now you kind of can't play defense because you can't close everything off.
Yeah, that's totally true. To that, I would add, though, it's actually kind of interesting. I would totally agree that the board is extremely open right now, but the one thing that it lacks is a really good place, except for the H of Hilly to the left side of the board. Not a lot of room to play a 7-letter word. It's all about 8-letter words.
Oh, interesting.
If you notice, where would you even put a 7-letter word except for one ending in maybe ED or something alongside Hilly on the left side of the board? Maybe twigs or vugs. Other than that, there's nowhere to play a 7.
So you've got to start really taxing your word knowledge. And some of
eight's
them are going to
so
be
tougher.
easier than others by ending in ED or having an S that you can put someplace, but they just don't exist here.
Right.
So it looks like Chloe's debating between Kappa and Pack.
And it's going to be
she's
Park.
doing Park, I see.
Park. Now, that is a slightly defensive move because she does gobble up some space, but it still leaves things rather open, and she's got a small lead. So really, you don't want to close things up too much because you may need it later.
There's still more room for her, I think, even after Park. And the nice thing about it is, with the blank in hand, it's a nice benefit of Park to get rid of the P and the K, your 2 high point letters, which typically there is kind of a tug of war between the point value of a letter and how likely a letter is to be in a bingo. So those high pointers, not as easy to get into a bingo, which you're thinking about with a blank in hand.
And if you're worried about Spark, it's so close to the triple, you can't really get a lot of points.
Sure.
With the bonus square in front of it, there's not going to be a whole lot of letters that are going to do a lot of damage.
So the score, look at the score there on the top of your screen.
Very close.
Oh, I
and
thought
he
Chloe
seems to see Parka. That's a great play right here, putting the A after Park.
Really
He gets rid of
nice.
3 of the vowels that were clogging up his rack.
Now, a few games ago, we had JEAUX, and the X still goes at the end of that EAU, but you're not worried about that?
Yeah, it's going to be tough to fit the X in that
because
spot
of the
and
D.
go all the way down. There are things that you could play, like Dexy or Doxy would fit in that spot, making EAUX. But on this board, that's really low down on your priority. That's true. That would fit too. But there's just so many possibilities in any given position. You have to sort of make, in your own mind, an ordering of what are the likeliest outcomes and what do I have to prioritize being worried about. And in this case, I don't think either of them are that worried about playing defense. They're both trying to get that next bingo down that's going to deliver the lead definitively to one of the 2 players.
Remember her first rack? She had a V and a G, and it was just a mess.
And they back,
it came right back. But knowing, of course, those 3-letter words that can help you out, she played VUG earlier instead of GOV that Jackson mentioned, and here we play VOG, V-O-G. And is it a bingo?
Wasting no time. It looks like it will be.
Retuned.
Oh man,
Retuned
that's
grapevine.
great, and he's playing so fast. It's amazing.
He's used
Now, and
3
look,
minutes.
he put it down initially so the R was on the double letter, but moved it so that the D could go on the double letter and score a few more points. And in a game like this, every point's going to matter.
And actually, what we were talking about earlier with the browniest word, Jem actually had the opportunity to play rationed, hooking the T onto brownies to play browniest. So it seems like that word is not done this game, even though Doily partially blocks it.
Right. That's basically the first play that you could possibly say that Jem hasn't made absolutely perfectly, and he picked a great play in Ratoon.
Well, Chloe's not going to waste any time in responding with predate. If you're wondering, Ratoon is it's
like a
sprout.
nautical, right?
No,
Or
it's
no?
a sprout.
Oh,
for
right.
words.
I'm thinking of a different word.
So, bingo after bingo with these two players, and I think that's going to stop on this move when Jem's sitting with 2 A's, 3 E's, an L, and a Y.
Yeah, from Jem's perspective, he's got to be saying, wow, I've made a bunch of plays that took me no more than, I'm just hitting 4 minutes on my clock, off my clock at the
He's got
the
267 points
but he's
in
still,
4 minutes.
And he's still trailing in the game. He's got to be saying, what do I have to do here to take the lead? And really, both players here have played an excellent game thus far. So what he's
now, Chloe's
the
from the
board.
DC Scrabble Club. Jem is from Los Angeles, so it's East meets West. Two of the best players of their age you're ever going to see, and really 2 great players at any age.
And if you tuned in during lunch break, you saw Josh Sokol's interview with Chloe, and I also spoke to Chloe's dad, Stefan.
Stefan, of course, wrote the book on Scrabble.
That's right.
Heard of Word Freak? If you haven't, check it out. If you have any interest in Scrabble, you got to definitely check that out. Jem had those E's. He gets rid of a couple of them. and uses up the triple.
And also, Ide actually makes a pretty interesting scoring spot right next to Ide. You can actually play what we call a sandwich. We can play some tiles making pay, and we'll see if that comes up later.
Chloe's got great plays there now.
Mace.
Mace, main, if she wants to. She's got two ends. You could use one of your two ends. We call that undoubling for obvious reasons. And typically, having duplicates of a certain letter is something you want to avoid. Just for it just happens that many bingos have all unique letters, and also every letter has its own unique attributes. So you would like to diversify which letters you have whenever you can. So we like to undouble.
The board's still pretty open. You've got those 3 rows down at the bottom, that E and O. And of course, we talked about the X goes at the end of that. And of course, you could put an S at the end of twigs, at the end of twig to make twigs.
And she sees the spot.
Beautiful.
It's very easy to miss that spot because Ide looks like it blocks that whole area. Mace is amazing. Scores a ton of points.
So the game had been even, but now Chloe is up by about 30, which the way this game is going, as Jem draws a great scoring rack, but the way this game is going, Jem's going to be thinking, well, I'm down by 30. Now I'm in more of a position where I've got to get the next bingo down as opposed to outscoring Chloe. So he's going to be looking to do that.
But he has that S, which goes at the end of
Is
bug
that the
and
last
twig.
S?
Let's see. It looks like there's one more after this one. But either way, that S is a very powerful tile here. And I'm sure that twigs and vug spot is not really getting taken away anytime soon.
I wonder if will Jem play his H in the vug with the H hook, vug. Not sure how I pronounce that differently with the H at the end.
The H does it mean the same thing?
Yeah.
There are 5 bingos on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
That's
bingos
amazing.
on the board.
It's great.
At
It's
any
amazing.
level of play, to have a board with 5 bingos and really an opportunity for possibly a couple more.
Yeah, I would expect at least one more to go down.
So
Actually,
really,
maybe
really
one.
strong play from these high schoolers. Jem takes some cheap points with the H on a
Interesting.
triple letter. It's going to go in both directions with A and E and pick up 24
What do you think
points.
about that, Jackson?
It seems like the X is still out.
Yes, it
And
is.
I think he may be inclined to block the X spot right there, because you could play EX there for over 50 points. As you can see though, Chloe has the Z instead, and she gets close to 50 points as well with the uncommon 4-letter word Z in. So it looks like Jem's defensive play of EH did not pay off in this particular instance.
Well, it also,
Although he did draw a blank.
he drew a blank, but he got some. Now he's got too many A's.
So now we're going to see
He's going to
Gems.
count. He's thinking maybe about trading in, maybe about trying to figure out what the proportion
Yeah, I think he's just saying, how much time do I have left to get my rack into bingo shape? I think that's what he's
points.
saying.
He's certainly within striking distance.
Right, but he's just wondering,
Even in a couple turns.
how much do I have to go for broke for it right now, or else the game will be over, I think.
This rack is really going to put Gem's word knowledge to the test. We all know Gem as someone who's studied the dictionary to a very large degree, and he does have a ridiculously weird bingo.
Oh, look at that. Did you see
He
his?
found, and I think he found it.
Oh my God.
Did you see the look on his face?
Amazing.
what
That's
is that?
amazing.
It's an
Calisaya.
eye.
It's an
Calisaya.
eye. That is incredible. I
Great
can't
find. And Chloe
can't
is
believe
laughing
it.
as well.
And-
she
and
realizes what a great find it is.
His jaw dropped. I mean, literally, you could hear it hit the table when he found that.
That is an
My
amazing find.
jaw hit the table when he found that as well. That's incredible. I mean, that is really deep level word knowledge that takes you years to get to that point in the dictionary. So
I'm trying to find the word here. There it is. It is the medicinal bark of the cinchona.
oh, that sends you back to a different part of
What's
the
the
dictionary.
cinchona? I don't really care. So Calisaya puts Gem in the lead, and Chloe, interestingly enough, played the Z in her last turn, plays the J in this turn, and still has the X on her rack. So she's not going to get points with the long words. She's going to be able to stay in the game by maximizing the shorter words.
And look at Gem's draw.
Oh, wow.
Man, if ever there was an injustice, it would be this draw after playing Calisaya, which is just an incredible find, but he's going to be hard-pressed here to keep pace with Chloe as she's got the J going down with Joe, and she's got a couple of spots for the X. The one that I saw.
He just did it again, though. Did you see it? Okay.
Check
no.
the-
No, I think he was having a moment of, I
Yeah.
cut these letters.
Yeah.
How many letters are in the bag?
There's one
Just
tile
one.
in the bag.
One. Okay, so obviously trading in is not an option.
No.
In addition to that, he's got to pretty much assume that she's got the X.
Yeah.
7 out of 8 times.
The
she
problem
will
with
have
the X is if you look at this shot of the board, if we can hold this for a second. Oh, never
there we
mind.
go, yeah.
Okay, so just look at the spot on the second T of instated, right above that. You could see that between twig and instated, the word text would go down for a huge score if
Yes,
Chloe
it would.
sees it.
Yes, it would.
So, if Gem is looking at the tiles, that he's got 16 minutes on his clock to figure out what Chloe is likely to have, that spot is one that you just can't let stay open. Look at that play.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And although he blocks the X spot there, I know you're talking about the EAU X hook earlier. Chloe she actually does have a word that plays starting with X, which is really unlikely and hard to spot.
Not
And
for her.
it seems like she spotted
Not
it.
for her.
Xenon, I
my
think that
God.
could win her the game.
N-O-N. Oh my goodness.
You're seeing great Scrabble here,
That is
everybody.
an amazing find.
How many points is that worth?
47.
47 points.
That
in a
seals
close
the
game.
That seals the game for
And
her.
because Gem's got nothing but garbage, he's not going to be able to go out anytime soon. You is his
Yeah.
only guy. These guys are so good. He appreciates that play. You can just tell he's analyzing things and realizing what a good play that was from her.
Yeah, and I got to say, Farm, I'm so impressed with that play from his perspective to know that he simply can't let that huge text play stay open. First of all, you got to see text. Secondly, you have to come up with the right play to block it that gives you any chance with certain draws out of the bag.
Chloe's going to play F-E, which is a Hebrew letter.
Wow.
And she's
Exhilarating
gonna get
game.
points for R-E as well. And
it
if
took
we can
like
get
10 minutes to
If we
complete.
can get the final score up there, is that it? Is that it? 447 to 420 points.
Yeah.
867 combined points.
It's going to be slightly more for Chloe.
Because we didn't
after her
deduct
last play. Yeah.
So after her last play, she's going to go even more. And these two enjoy Scrabble so much that they can just sit and look at the board here. It's a tough loss for Gem, who came into this undefeated. we didn't even have time to talk about
I
this.
know. I
Chloe had a
wanted to
loss.
talk to you about
Chloe had a
the
loss.
Vug plays.
Jem
and stuff.
was undefeated. Is that the correct score? We don't know. It just changed a little bit.
Yeah.
It's still a massive score. To score 400 points and lose, you can't be too ashamed of that.
I mean, I can't even imagine what play I would have done differently as Jem. If the biggest thing I would have done is rationed and browniest over Ratooned, that is the tiniest little marginal thing. He played such a great game, as did Chloe. Really impressive stuff.
Well, the good news, since they played so quickly, is that we're going to have a lot of time between now and our next game.
Should be a nice interview
but
now.
Josh is out there to talk with players about what was going through their heads. For us to keep up with them was difficult enough.
Yeah.
So they'll kind of give you an analysis of the game, and you'll get an idea of how. I mean, if you don't know how good they are from looking at this game, I don't know
Trust
what
us,
else
that
we
was
can-
really good.
That was a
Ali
tremendous
Saya is
play.
an amazing find. Not only to know the word, but to see it with a blank on your rack is incredible.
And Jem is another one of those expressive players that's so much fun to watch. He saw it, his eyes lit up, his jaw hit the table,
Yeah.
and he put it down, and Chloe just kind of got stuck there. I mean, what could she do? She had just gone through some tough times with the letters. She stuck with it. She played the Z off, she played the J off, and then the killer move of playing Xenon down
Xenon
the
is
side
amazing.
of the board. So a great job from both players. I keep saying this because the play is so good. We're probably going to see these guys later, but there's
There's too many people to see later.
I'm telling you, the high school division of this tournament is unbelievable. It is better than your average tournament in terms of the quality of play. And you guys are
Absolutely.
playing at the top of the charts anyway. These are players that are just exceptional.
In this game especially, you do not see this level of play consistently from almost anyone. Both players just played beautifully.
Yeah,
We're getting set up.
We're impressed.
It's a terrific game from both of those, and really enjoyable to watch. We're getting set up outside. We're going to go over to Josh in just a bit and find out what was going on. We do have one more game today that will take place as soon as, as I said, this one ended pretty early, so there's going to be some time. Hopefully Josh can have some opportunity to talk with the kids. We'll have another game later. Call it a night from here in Philadelphia, and then come back tomorrow when it'll get really exciting, as every single game, every single round is going to be important, and we will culminate it with the championship division champion, as well as the high school level champion. A lot of money on the line, and more importantly, prestige.
Yeah, I'd love to hear from the players right now and what they were thinking as they played that game.
That was at any level of play, that was one of the best things you're going to see. Josh, take it away.
I am in awe of what I just witnessed. Let me just tell you. Okay, where do I start? So this is Jem. This is Chloe. They've just played an incredible game. Actually, let's just look at the board right now. Let's just see. Let's just take a little look. 6 bingos, right? It's, yeah, no, I'm like, this game was the best game so far by far. Congrats to both of you. Chloe just won this game. I don't know where to start. So you played brownies on your second turn, Jem. You also had boar knights and sobering. Well, she had blocked. Why did you choose brownies?
I honestly just thought it was a more fun word because it has a W in it, so I was like, I'll play that. But in retrospect, I think Boar Knights would have been a little safer. But of course, I couldn't have known that she had instated. Yeah, so I don't know. I just thought it was a more interesting word, so I decided I'd do it. And it wasn't really worth that much less. Or no, was it worth any less? I don't know if it was worth any less.
It was one more than Boar Knights. So you played brownies. Chloe, you had distant on your rack. If he had played Boar Knights, you would have played distant down from the ES, making DEIS. But something you both seem to have missed is the fun little hook on brownies. So, browniest.
I wasn't certain if it was good. I was considering it, but then I kind of forgot about it as the game wore on. And doily, I didn't have a T before that, so doily was yeah.
Yeah, I just did not think of that. That would have been much better for distant. Wait.
Right. Well, actually, after your play of doily, you still could have used the hook. You would have had rationed. Actually, completely just like he played ratooned here. Ration just all the way down.
Ration would have been so awesome. Didn't even occur to me.
You pronounce it
Ra-
ration. Yeah. I pronounce it Canadianly. All right. Well, anyways, the game was really, really close, still going on. What else happened? Yes. So after the game, Stefan came over and told Chloe, wow, you had a bingo when you played Park. Now, Chloe, let me know if you know this word, trackpad.
I do know that word. I did not think of that word. That would have been really good.
Well, what ended up happening, you played Park. It was, yeah, that allowed Jem to play EAU to set up something he didn't ever think would happen.
Yeah, no, I was like, my letters were awful, and I wanted to do something with Parka, and like, I wanted to also block the D, because I couldn't do anything with the D. So I decided, O would be a good play. So I did that, but was not considering about the X. And then even at the end of the game, I wasn't thinking, oh, she has the X, most likely, because there's still one tile in the bag, and she might be able to use it. So, oh well.
So, I mean, going down, Chloe was ahead basically the rest of the game. She got predate down. After you played I to Jem, did you see the scoring spot it opened up?
I did see that it had opened up. I was hoping I could use it. The reason I hadn't seen it like while I was playing it. I saw it immediately after, and also my letters were so bad I had to get rid of one of my 3 E's, and I still had 2 A's. So it was like, I don't have any other options really. Not that I saw anyways.
So Chloe, twice you did something. I mean, Jem played insanely fast for like the entire game, but you kept your composure. On 2 occasions, you saw and stated. You looked for something better. When you see a good play, look for a better one. That was really, really great. And then you were thinking of something on your turn after he played Ide. What was going through your mind when you had Menace on your rack?
Yeah, I thought Menace. I just wasn't really like a huge fan of that rack. Thought it might clear up the rack. I don't think I saw a place to play it. And then I saw Mace. It was 40 points, and that was pretty good. Yeah, I couldn't really pass that up, so decided to play that instead.
Sorry, yeah. So, I mean, on a few occasions in this game, each of you saw a play and you're like, oh, awesome. And the most incredible happening of this was Kalisaya. Now, let's just look at this word. We could see Jem on camera. His jaw literally dropped to the table when he saw that word. How did you know that word?
So over the past couple months, I've been using a anagramming website called Aerolith, and I was doing the 9s one day because 9s never come up, but I was like, they're fun, I'll just try it. And then that was one I couldn't get, and I saw it afterwards, and I was like, wow, that is an awesome word. It was Kalisayas. And so I don't know, I just stored that away in my mind, hoping, like, against hope that I'd be able to use it someday. And then magically I saw it in this game. Like, honestly, I didn't think I was going to bingo with that rack. I was like, there's probably something here, but I'm not going to find it. And the announcers are going to come back afterwards and be like, you missed a bingo. And then so I was going to, like, just play Cal or something. I don't know, something stupid like that. But no, it was kind of crazy. It was really crazy that I happened to notice it.
Chloe, what was your reaction when that came down? You didn't seem to hold or challenge. You seemed to have trusted Jem there.
I did trust Jem mostly because of his reaction. He seemed I think he was pretty sure that was a word. I was sure he'd seen it somewhere. And I know Jem knows a lot of words and can remember things like that. And I did not want to test my luck with that, challenging that. So yeah.
Kalisaya, that so far is the word of the tournament. I did not know that word. I did not know you had Kavalas as well, not nearly as nice as Kalisaya. Neither of those words I would have seen that is like top level. I really like congrats. Even though you didn't end up winning the game, things didn't quite go your way. What ended up happening around that time, Chloe had the J, the Z, then she had the X, and you draw 7 consonants and you were just done for. There was one tile in the bag.
It was a U of all things. Nothing good can come from a U. Nothing good. Ugh.
Chloe, when did you realize you were winning the game? Was it when you saw that amazing play of Xenon?
Yeah, I'd seen Xenon the turn before. I didn't have the second end, so I decided to hold on to the X. I don't think I had seen it on my tracking, but I was just hoping to have something down there, and I got it, saw it instantly, and I was like, oh, that's the play. I was pretty sure I was going to win once I got that, and I didn't think, well, I thought Jem might block it playing MU, just underneath EAU, but he didn't have the M at that point. So I don't think you thought to block that.
No, I was like looking. I knew you had the X, and I was like looking, where can she play it? And I was like, oh, there's no good spots. I completely forgot that I'd done EAU, and I saw that you had Xenon too, or that you potentially had it because there's still one tile in the bag. But I was like, oh, what? She won't play that anywhere. There's no spots available. Oh dear. But like, even if I had attempted to block it, my letters were so awful. There wasn't much I could have done. There was really like nothing.
So with your play of Farm, with one tile left in the bag, you emptied the bag, you kept 4 consonants on your rack, but you did 2 things that were incredible. You not only blocked text, which she could have had for 54 points, much easier find than Xenon, but you also allowed yourself to win in one scenario, and that scenario was if you drew the letter O. If you drew the letter O, you would have grows on your rack and 2 spots to play it, and you would have won that game. So you had a 1 in 8 chance of winning still after all of those amazing scoring plays. But yeah, the speed at which Jem played is only matched by the composure in which Chloe managed to still keep her cool. Congratulations to both of you. I'm going to send it back to Will. I'm going to send it back to Kevin. I'm in awe. Jackson, Kevin, Will, take it away. Congrats on you two for an amazingly played game.
You will often hear us talk about the level of play in this tournament, and we're kind of speechless about what we just saw.
Yeah.
A near perfect game from both sides, over 400 points from both players, and just an unbelievable game for both of them. We were talking about the high school division. Man, it's good.
Yeah.
We've seen, 6 players at the featured table so far from the high school division, and any of those 6 can play at the top division of any tournament. Just really, really great play. We're going to come back in just a little bit, round out our day, and tell you a little bit more about what's happening tomorrow. We hope you'll be with us here at the North American School Scrabble Championships. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back pretty soon.